can be really, really tricky sometimes. Even if you go to the same school or work at the same place, sometimes people just don't give you the time of day. But like you say, if you join some kind of club or team, then you'll start getting closer to people. It'll smoothen out the process at least.
Because then you can talk about what you're doing. You can say, "Oh, that song, that's a very tricky song." But the Norwegians don't know how to talk unless just small talk is it's a bit awkward. We don't have a language for it.
Alrighty, I guess I should properly introduce myself. Sorry for being late, but hello, my name is Patrick. Good to meet you all. We can mingle later, but for now I'm going to tell you a little bit about Bleikøya. So Bleikøya here is the first good example we're getting of a cabin island, as it were. You'll see quite a few cabins as we'll wander through the island in a moment here. You'll find them in two particular colors. You'll see them in the classic red over there, that exact red color almost, every time, and white here.
While we wait, would you mind to have an interview?
Interview?
Yes.
Sure.
What is the hardest part of being a tour guide?
Hardest part?
Yes.
I guess remembering everything. There's actually quite a lot to keep track of at the same time sometimes. First, you gotta make sure everything's in order. So, especially for bike tours,
Yeah.
bikes need to be in good enough order to go out. The helmets need to be clean.
You mean the logistics?
Yeah, all the logistics. And then you need to make sure, like, how many do we have? How many e-bikes do we have? How many child seats do we have? How many kids' bikes do we have? And then you gotta check people in. Start checking people in after you've wheeled out enough bikes.
So not really the tour itself, but the
Pretty
other
much.
stuff.
The logistics. Once you've done the tour a few times, it just becomes second nature. You just do it automatically. And as long as you focus more on like keeping the group together, making sure they're safe in traffic, and you make sure everybody's there, like count everybody, and you remember the route, as long as those things are in place, you're pretty much set. As long as things go smoothly, what you talk about is less important than anything else. It's the least important thing. So it's kind of the thing you like fine tune once you're done with all of the other like logistical stuff. Once you're good at all that, then you can start really like becoming a good speaker, I would say. A lot of people focus it the other way around. They think like, oh, I need to, know my stuff, and I need to have the perfect narrative, so I entertain people, and then they lose people or go too quickly or don't count people and aren't safe in traffic. But that's the wrong approach. Just gonna make sure nobody gets off.
This is where we go?
No.
No, not yet. Next question.
Yes.
What is the best thing about being a tour guide?
Best thing? There's a lot of good things. I'll list a lot of good things, and then I might come up with the best one at the end. You get to be outside.
Outside?
That's nice. You get to actually like have a a difference in like environment all the time. Even if you are in a bus, you get to see a bunch of different things. You get to engage the creative part of your brain.
We are getting up at the next stop.
Indeed. Creative part of your brain. You get to talk to people from all over the world. It's always fun. You get to storytell, which I love, and you get to basically promote the city or place you are in. Which, if you love it, which I do, then that's also a big plus, because you get to kind of basically just gush about something you love.
Yes.
Like Oslo, for me.
I would say you're like an ambassador of the country.
Kind of, yeah, we really are. We're like often people's first kind of introduction to the city or the place that they're visiting.
Yes. They're all down now.
Except two. You guys coming? Yes. Yep.
Okay, we will continue the interview. Would you mind?
Go right ahead.
We're done with the tour, but the interview is not done. My question is, what are the essential qualities for being a tour guide?
Test. Yeah.
The essential qualities.
No. The essential qualities for a tour guide is obviously to enjoy talking to people. That's a big one.
You need to be extroverted?
No. But you do need to enjoy talking to people. Or to fake that you enjoy talking to people. But because that's pretty much the most of the job, is talking to people. You also need to be not necessarily... Yeah, you need to be somewhat organized, at least to the point where you can keep track of a group. You need to be able to keep your head cool under pressure, that whole thing, because it does get stressful sometimes. And then you need to be able to do what needs to be done instead of just freaking out and hoping for the best. You can't really do that on these tours.
But I want like specific characteristics like resiliency, bravery.
Okay.
It's like, what if there are people who's watching who's like aspiring to be tour guides?
Right. Well, the main trait I would say is to be able to keep cool in a stressful situation. The second is perceptiveness, I guess, because you need to constantly keep an eye out on your group, keep track of how many there are, make sure they're going the right way, that you're not losing anybody, stuff like that. Make sure you pay attention if somebody is falling behind, and kind of routine with your safety instructions. So just make sure that the bike tour is safe for everyone. And that you're keeping the pace as low as the slowest biker is comfortable with, right? And then sociability and being able to bring a certain level of energy and interest and inlevelse. engagement to your guiding as well. And time management too, because you need to keep on time for either making the boats like on the walking tour, or make sure you leave the stops on time to be able to bike to the next stop on the biking tours.
Very nice, very nice. How about you? Do you have a question for me being a tourist?
Oh yeah. How do you think I did? How do you think I did on the island I did?
I think you're fun as a tour guide, and I have noticed the tourists enjoying your explanations. You're very entertaining. And you're very approachable. There's a vibe that I can feel.
Anything else? Am I Pogi? Am I a Pogi tour guide?
What?
Am I a Pogi tour guide?
That's automatic. We don't need to mention the obvious. You're funny. You're very humorous. You're humoring. Because it makes your explanation very nice to listen to. Because of course the attention span of the tourists, they want to look around, What is so far the most difficult, most unforgettable thing that happened on a tour?
Well, I always remember that one time, it was like my first or second year of guiding, when we were on a bike tour going to the Vigeland Park, and it started raining real bad. It wasn't like cold, but cold enough that it was chilly without a jacket. And when I said like it's time to go back to town, one of them simply refused to go. She was like, I am not getting sick on my holiday. I'm not leaving.
So what she wanna do? She's gonna stay there?
That was her plan, with our bike and everything, because I couldn't bring it So I ended up having to give her my jacket, and I was cold on the way down instead. But thankfully I wasn't so cold that I got a cold or got sick, so that's nice. But yeah, that was definitely memorable.
So that is it. I can't think of any other questions, but those are the interesting questions I can think of.
If anyone in the comments has any questions.
Yes, if you guys have any questions for Patrick. or if you guys are aspiring to be a tour guide. Sometimes I wish I could be as extroverted as you.
Yeah.
Because it's a fun job, I find.
It is a fun job. But don't get me wrong, it's not like... Like, you say it would be nice to be extroverted to do this job. It helps, sure. But we have introverts who do this job. I know that we do have a few introverts, so if you can find some way to handle it, then this is a great job. It's really fun. But of course seasonal, so you can only really work half the year, at least here in Norway. Somewhere else it might be different, but yeah.
Patrick now is a certified Oslo guide. You can find Patrick. I'm gonna link his website. Wow, website! So they can see your page, so they can request you from the Oslo Guide Committee. Yay!
That'll work.
Yes. Now we're going home to prepare for camping. Yes! I'm excited. We're gonna overnight camp in the wilderness again. Say bye!
See you on tour. I said, see you on tour.
Yay!
Bye.